This is BendPak's flush mount version of their full rise scissor lift. This was mostly a do-it-yourself install. Now that includes everything from concrete to construction work and the lift itself. Now that install happened over a year ago. We started cutting concrete in October of 2023. So I thought today would be a good day, after owning this for over a year now, to show you exactly what it took to get this installed from beginning to end. So we're going to start with cutting a hole in the concrete, going all the way through electrical and plumbing, down to the cool part, the installation. So come along with me if you're ever curious on what it's like to install a lift in your home garage. Today's video is going to give you all the details. I got started by cutting the floor into 4 2-foot wide sections. Instead of using a jackhammer to get all of the sections out, I decided to use an anchor bolt to pull them out with the forklift. But 1 ton of concrete is a bit much for that nylon strap, so I switched to a chain. And that seemed to do the trick. So far, this demolition is going really well because we're using machines to help us get the job done, including my Toyota Corolla. And I'm going to cut some holes in this side of the concrete so I can get power and hydraulics to the lift from the console. That's all going to be routed under the floor through this 3-inch PVC conduit. Conduit's in there, goes in the tunnel, and goes vertical up to here. I've got to drill some holes in this 4-inch slab here. It's about 30 years old, so it's good and cured, which means you need a hammer drill to get through it. That is not easy work. Kudos to anyone who's in masonry or construction in general. This is definitely a rough job. I'm hammering in this 1/2-inch rebar so that this new slab will be locked into the garage floor. Now that we're ready to pour concrete, I decided to hire a company to do that for us, but that came at a pretty high cost. They didn't show up the next day to finish the concrete, so we removed the forms and saw this. Not only did it have a terrible finish, it wasn't flat and it wasn't even flush with the rest of the floor. Well, needless to say, I woke up the next morning to look at the concrete job. I was pretty disappointed. So if you look right here, this vertical section here, it's nice clean concrete. That's because this portion here was too high and I had to grind that down. If you look over on this side here, you can see the original concrete, and then this is leveling concrete that had to get poured on top. This happened later once this was cured. So that's about 1 inch or so, depending on how level each individual spot was, and it wasn't very level at all. So we were back to the Home Depot rental department where we got a floor grinder. We used it to knock down all of the high spots in the concrete, and it did a pretty good job. Now, couldn't do anything about the low spots. For that, we had to pour some more concrete to level it. Then you got cure time. It's about 28 days, which is call it a month, which is a long time to wait with holes in the floor, but it's worth it. So I got right online, went to BendPak, ordered the lift. I wanted to kind of coordinate the concrete being ready with the lift being delivered. So the way that happened, or the way it worked out, is the power unit and the cabinet for the power unit, that was delivered by UPS. Actually, it was the power unit that was inside the cabinet. So that was delivered by UPS. Just poor guy, you know, the guy that actually runs up to your doorstep, he carried that whole thing up here by hand. The rest of the lift came on truck freight. It was delivered ABF. Actually, I went over to pick it up. I picked it up with the trailer, and I was able to use the forklift to unload it and get it into the garage. Otherwise, the freight company could have delivered this with a lift gate, and I could have moved it around maybe with an engine hoist and a transmission jack, but this way was a little bit easier. Oh, don't worry, the concrete broke its fall. Well, that was a lesson learned, so now I'm using a sling to move it around, and it's working a lot better now. Look at that thing slide right in there. I must have measured that hole about a dozen times. 3/4-inch anchors into the floor, and you've got to run this air line from the console into these locks. Console's assembled, the power unit is attached, and it's time to put in some hydraulic fluid. So what I'm going to do now is just get the Tundra buttoned up. We'll put some oil in it. We're not going to over-tighten the filter because I want to be able to get it off again. And we're going to back this car out, and we're going to get started on part 2, which is repairing the hydraulic leak. If you saw the review video before, we have a hydraulic leak that's coming out of that cylinder over there. So let's go ahead and get this thing down and out we'll repair that and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, it's this cylinder I mentioned was leaking. Now if you look way down here, see this little hole? That's like a vent, but it's got fluid that's coming out of it. So let's take a look. Got my cup ready to catch whatever comes out. Oh, there it is. It's coming out hard too. Oh, and out of the top. Pretty gross. Now that's not the fluid that's in the system. That's the fluid that leaked out and it's just been sitting inside the cylinder. And it didn't leak too bad out of the top here, but we've definitely got a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the lift down onto its safety lock. Oh yeah, but it's definitely up against that, so we're good. Now I can remove the cylinder that was holding up the lift because it's on the lock now. So if I remove it, should be able to just swap them out and should be good to go. So what I'm gonna do is right at the top of this cylinder, I'm gonna remove these 2 pins and get these loosened up.
Nice shot.
What I want to do is keep as much of the fluid inside the system as possible. There's no reason to waste it, especially because I'm out. I've used all the fluid I've got, so I've got to buy more if it's low. So that's this connection here. It's got this little elbow, and this connection is what fills the cylinder with fluid. And that hose goes all the way back underneath the floor, and the tank is inside that power unit right over there. So I want to keep as much in there, like I said. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can push this cylinder down and that'll get the fluid to go back in the tank. But we need to hold the button down for that. And, well, it's not going to be easy. It's a pretty small hole to push the fluid through and there's no car pushing down on it. So let's see how tough that's going to be. I'm just going to try and put my weight on it. Not like that's very much, but bruh. I can feel it. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the camera and get this done. This might take a while.
A few moments later.
We've got the cylinder down. It may have taken a little bit of help from a forklift, but we got it. I just want to disconnect this hose and then plug it off so I'm not losing too much fluid here. So let's do that. Let's see if I can knock this thing out. It's at a bit of a weird angle here. So I've got to come through this hole and then hit it there. Ooh-wee. That's a pretty heavy cylinder there. Whoo! Heck yeah. This one is the one they sent me. Shout out to BendPak. Thank you for sending me a brand new RAM. You didn't have to do it. Probably could have just gotten away with sending me a seal kit and say good luck. But that's not how you do business, and I appreciate that. And I mentioned this before in my review video that I bought this lift. BendPak has no idea that I am about to put this on YouTube. Oh yeah, all right, so we got a little plug over here. We gotta get that out and then we gotta put the fitting into there. Let's go over to the lift. I should be able to just put this on. I should probably bring some grease. And I have, oh yeah, check this out. So you haven't seen this yet. I'm still in the testing phase of this, it's called Steel Camel thread and post. So they sent this out to me to test it out. This is an anti-seize product, and this particular bottle is sort of that red lithium grease. It's not exactly the same as a lithium grease. This is actually an anti-seize. So I'm gonna use this on those pins, and hopefully it'll keep it all lubed up nice and keep it from rusting out. Because the lift isn't all the way to its full extended position, that hole isn't letting the pin out. So I'm just gonna put this anti-seize on there like that. So I marked the dimple right where the hole is. That way I can sort of line it up a little bit better as I go in. Hopefully that works. No need to torque it. It's just all the way down and that's it. Now we can do the hydraulics. Okay, so we got that done. We got this. Now we need to get the top of the cylinder to line up with the holes that are up there on the lift. So I've got this Steel Camel stuff, like I said. The reason why I went ahead and said yes, I would test this is for you guys, but also because, well, they're a Florida company. And I love local companies. There's a lot of anti-seize lubrication products out there. This one's local. I hope this works pretty good. I don't doubt that it does. Let me get some inside of the ram also. Just inside the bore here on the ram. Okay, let me pray that this lines up exactly where we want it. Oh my god, what? First try, did you see that? I'm trying to get these holes to line up for the little screws. So I want to get that just right. Now, did my holes line up? They are not. They must have twisted while I was hammering. Dang it. Make yourself a dang quesadilla. All right. Is it lined up? Oh, it's just slightly, just slightly. I'm about to smash on it. Now I gotta put more anti-seize on there. Don't want it seizing up. Ready? Ooh, it slipped right in. We get it? I think so. Man, such precision. It's like we're building a rocket, going to Mars or something. Oh, heck yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these both down and we'll let the air out of the system. As it's going down, that's pushing the air out of the cylinder, out of the lines. It's gonna go into the tank and then it just goes out. And it's not gonna come back in again. So as soon as we're down, we should be good to go. And we'll get rid of that springiness. Okay, we're down. Go ahead and lift it up and we'll see if they both rise at the same rate. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna be able to use this lift the way it should be used. Look at that, it goes way faster now. So if you haven't yet seen my full review of this lift, this is a 1-year ownership review. Click on that link right over there. It'll take you to that review and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.